Tonight on SportsDesk, Canes football returns after its bye week, and the team heads back to Hard Rock Stadium tomorrow. Our In the Trenches crew gives us more on what it will take to beat North Carolina.
Plus, women's soccer turned a corner with a top 25 win over Virginia Tech. Catch up with our O Sports Roundup duo for more.
And later on, one local high school football team is finally back to its winning ways.
All that and more, SportsDesk starts
right now.
I'm Ed Reed, and you're watching SportsDesk.
Hi, I'm Jim Kelly, former UM guy. You're watching SportsDesk.
What's up? I'm DJ Williams, and y'all watching SportsDesk.
Hello and welcome to Sports Desk. I'm Regina Potenza.
And I'm Andrew Klein. Regina, Canes football opens up ACC play on Saturday, and it's Parents' Weekend here on campus.
Oh yes, Andrew, the Canes are coming back off a bye week and they're looking to defeat UNC with parents and students watching. Category 5 is the official student section and spirit group for Hurricane Sports. And today, they held a pep rally to get Canes fans excited for the game. Niles Nassim had a chance to attend at the Lakeside patio. Niles, what can you tell us?
Well, as you can see, I'm getting my groove on because, ladies and gentlemen, what a time to be alive. We are live here with Cat 5 at the place to be, as you can see, which is Lakeside Patio, the home of our spirit team, who's having their actual pep rally before the ACC opener against UNC for the Miami Hurricanes tomorrow at Hard Rock Stadium. Now we have everything here. We have food, we have snacks. Even Sebastian has come out of the nest to party with the best. So I'll send it back to you at the desk, and I'll see you later for Behind the Post. This is going to be fun, and oh, you already know what time it is, baby. Go Canes. Let's get it.
UNC's Drake May. What does TVD have to do to beat UNC's top 5 QB? Our In the Trenches crew has more.
In the Trenches, I'm your host Ethan Gainey, alongside our analyst Cal Freeman. And Cal, coming in off of a bye week where they had a lot of time to think about a bad loss to Middle Tennessee, you'd expect morale to be way down. Instead, we've seen quite the contrary.
Yeah, it's been the total opposite. It's been a confident week in Canes camp this week. Defense has really done a good job owning up to some of the things they did wrong against Middle Tennessee State, as well as the offense group. They've really started to feel some confidence. Will Mallory described the group as hungry and fired up for this ACC opener. Right. That's how you want to see this team trend after a bad loss.
Yeah, it is. And on top of those guys who you mentioned, we also have defensive lineman Elijah Roberts all but guaranteeing that they're going to get off to a better start this week.
And just players in general, players have gotten together and said, man, what can we do to start fast? Is it something that we need to do, go to the coaches about and see, is it something that we could come to and just fix? And it's been fixed. People have been talking about it, met with coaches and stuff like that. So I don't expect us to have any more slow starts like that.
Okay, Cal, it's been fixed. Do you buy that?
I'm not sure if I buy it. We got to wait and see. But Mario Cristobal was 5-0 off of buys at Oregon. And these players, they've come together. It seems like they're going the right direction.
Yeah, Miami historically not good after bye weeks too. So now Miami goes into an ACC schedule where 7 quarterbacks in the ACC are in the top 32 in the nation in terms of QBR. Drake May in particular for the Tar Heels is number 4 in the nation with a 90.6 QBR. How do the Canes handle him?
I mean, there hasn't really been a way to handle him so far. 21 touchdowns, only 1 interception this season. We'll get a look at what he did in UNC's ACC opener against Virginia Tech. He got comparisons to Josh Allen earlier this week. Here's why. Reads the field so well, steps away from the 2 defensive ends. About a casual jump pass to Antoine Green in the back of the end zone.
That wasn't Josh Allen?
I know, right?
Yeah.
This is how Drake May has been all season long, and he's so young. What makes him scary? Redshirt freshman eligible for the draft last year. Here's another play that makes him very draft heavy. Right here, defensive lineman in his face. A lot of quarterbacks would just back up and feel the pressure. May, he steps up, avoids it, draws Shamari Connor in. Torque, throw to the sideline to Josh Downs. He's projected to go in the first round this year. Defense for Miami is going to have their hands full tomorrow.
Yes, they are. He's got an incredible ability to read the field. So now, Cal, It's time for what we've all been waiting for, your final takes. What can the Canes do to win this game tomorrow?
3 things for Miami in their season opener. First, we're going to start with a little reference to Cobra Kai. They've got to strike first, and they've got to strike hard. Because we talked about Elijah Roberts, these starts need to be better. If you go down early to the number 6 offense, there's going to be problems. Secondly, Miami has to cause a little mayhem. You got to put the pressure on Drake May. You can't make it easy on him, force some pressure. And finally, it's time to open the offense up. This is a North Carolina defense that gave up 600 yards to App State. Miami has to be able to take deep shots tomorrow.
All right, Cal, thanks. That's all the time we have left on this week's edition of In the Trenches. Back to you guys at the desk.
One Australian football player traveled all the way to UM for football, but this offensive lineman is looking to make it to the big screen too. Reporter Ryan Gleischer has the story.
315 pounds, LaSalle High School senior Frankie Tinilau is an offensive lineman for the Royal Lions. But one thing makes him stand out. Tinilau is from Brisbane, Australia, where the opportunities to play football are few and far between.
I first heard about football growing up. I heard stories about my dad playing, and that's why it sparked the interest. And just hearing that my dad used to play, it also helped out too.
But how does an Australian football player find a home in Miami? While in his home country, Tinilau was being recruited by Miami staff, and after one visit to Coral Gables, he knew the U was the place for him.
We made few mutual friends through the coaches. I definitely believe in their coaching, and hopefully, I can do the exact same thing.
Playing against some of the country's best high school players in Miami, Tinilau has yet to feel challenged, and LaSalle head coach Helder Valle has loved the fit of Tinilau.
I truly believe, I had tougher times playing in Australia. I think just because of, my size out here, I oversize or overpower most of the kids that are out there. The only thing that they have on me is, a bit more technique and speed and quickness.
I've never have met an Australian and interacted one personally, so having a player that comes here is pretty cool.
If the NFL doesn't work out for the football star, Tinilau has dreams of becoming very similar to one former Miami Hurricane football player. The former stunt double playing Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in NBC's Little Rock show hopes to chase a similar career in acting or wrestling in the WWE.
Yeah, the chances to make the NFL is so slim that you always have to have a backup option. So I definitely, keep my eye on it. And if it comes, it comes, and you might see me in the ring one day. So.
While Tinilau is unsure of what he will study at Miami, one thing is for sure. He is ready to take his talents to the U. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Ryan Gleischer.
Coming up, Basketball Media Day was today, and Coach L and Coach Meyer's squads are stirring up some buzz. Darryl Barnes had a chance to attend today's press conferences and is live at the Watsco Center. We'll tell you more later on. Don't go anywhere.
Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
Of course I've thought about it, but there's all this stuff in the way.
Oh, you're not kidding.
The house, the kids are going to college.
My new car.
Car? You bought a new car?
Oh, hey, you should meet my friend Avo. Avo's a retirement coach. He'll help get you started.
But what does Avo tell you to do?
You don't know? Focus on your future. Your goals can still be met.
But how?
Target your tomorrow. And use the Avo bet.
You sing?
Not really. A is for taking action. Start off with a plan.
You built these letters?
Yep. V is for variety. There's so many ways you can.
I follow you.
Come on. O's for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice sign.
Thanks, I made it myself.
Cool.
Last night, Canes soccer took down Virginia Tech for their first conference win of the season. Let's take you out to Cobb Stadium to see how they got it done. Early on in this one, a corner kick opportunity for Virginia Tech. This one sent into the box and punched away by Hurricanes goalie Melissa Dagenet. Tech with another chance, but the shot is blocked. Now Miami with a corner of their own. Megan Morgan sends it into the box, and Adriana Serna is there to bury it for Miami. Hurricanes take a 1-0 lead at home. The team celebrates around Serna after her goal. Now Coming up, another opportunity for Virginia Tech. This one just off the corner of the crossbar. Dagenet couldn't get to it, but luckily the goalie's best friend does. Now the Hurricanes with a takeaway opportunity. Here comes Lauren Meeks. She buries it from outside the box. Let's take another look at this one. She's able to dribble it just outside the box and sneak that one inside off the post and into the goal. Miami with their second goal today. And now maybe one more. Late in the game, the Hurricanes get a chance. They dribble to the middle of the pitch, and there is Katarina Molina to bury the goal for the Hurricanes, their third of the night. Miami able to pull off a 3-1 upset for their first ACC win of the year.
Sticking with soccer and more, the Hurricanes have spent plenty of time on the pitch and the volleyball court this week. Let's go over to Michael and Gavin on this week's edition of O Sports Roundup.
Hey everybody, welcome to this week's edition of the O Sports Roundup. I'm Michael Muella.
And I'm Gavin Bichot. Mike, the Canes soccer team got back on their winning ways with a ranked win last night against Virginia Tech. Tell us more.
Sure thing, Gav. It was the number 24 ranked Hokies coming into Coral Gables to play the Hurricanes, and Sarah Barnes and her squad were looking for their first win in ACC play, losing their first 5. And they were also looking to get their first win of the season since September 4th after beating Oklahoma State 2-1. Now, it was all Miami from the opening whistle, and Virginia Tech never really got things going on offense until the late stages of the game. Early in the first half, it was Adriana Serna picking up goal number 1 of the season, and then later on, 2 more from Katarina Molina and Lauren Meeks. And Virginia Tech just tried to do too much on offense, never really made Dagenet uncomfortable. They did get a goal back in the 81st minute, but that was all she wrote. Miami picked up their first win, 3-1, and got back on their winning ways. Their next game, October 9th at Wake Forest. And Gavin, let's talk about Canes volleyball. They've been on a bit of a slump recently. Did they get it back on track?
Indeed, Mike, the Canes volleyball team was on a road trip this past week. They won last Friday night's match against UNC, but dropped games against NC State and rival Florida State on Wednesday. Coach Kino Gindar spoke after the game against Florida State, saying how he's proud of his team fought, but at what point do the moral victories end? This is a Miami team that is 1-7 when losing the first set, and it's definitely been a big issue is starting slow for this Miami team. They find themselves at 9-7 and 2-3 in conference play as they get ready to take on Duke on Sunday, October 9th.
Thanks, Gav. We'll be sure to follow up on that, but that's all the time we have this week. Sending it back to Regina and Andrew at the desk.
Fall is here, and the newest Canes hoop season is near. The Miami men's and women's basketball teams held media availability today, and there's lots to look forward to with their seasons less than a month away. Lead reporter Daryl Barnes is live at the Watsco Center to share what he heard from Miami coach Katie Meyer. And Daryl, all eyes have been on the new recruits for the Hurricanes this year. What have you seen from the new faces on the women's side?
Well, Andrew, if you pull up TikTok, you can see that we've got 111.6 million things from Hannah and Haley Cavender alone. That's how many likes they have on their combined TikTok account. All right, but here at Media Day, Coach Katie Meyer and the Twins really pushed the message that fans should put their devices away and start looking at what the Twins can do on the court.
This is why I'm saying it so dramatically. They are so serious about basketball. So I really want people to understand that they never get outworked. Basketball is a very serious thing in their lives.
We were basketball players before TikTokers. I think people forget that. Being able to, put yourself in a situation to win and be a part of something special is something we wanted, and that's why we're here.
Hannah and Haley said, hey, maybe our TikToks will help put more fans in the stands. But your first chance to check them out will be November 2nd here at the Watsco Center when they host Barry University. But for now, for UMTV, I'm Daryl Barnes. Back to you guys in the studio.
With the Watsco Center ready to welcome back Canes hoops this fall, Miami basketball is wasting no time with prep. Let's pass it over to our Hurricane Hang Time team to share more on the preseason excitement.
Welcome back to this week's edition of Hurricane Hang Time. I'm your host, Justin Walkney, joined by analysts Jake Baum and Juliana Warnock. Last week, we touched on Miami shooting guard, so today, we're talking small forwards. So let's start with the men's squad here, Jake. That small forward position could really be utilized in multiple ways, whether it's adding a potential scoring threat to the lineup or really bolstering up that front court with some more size. So with that said, who do you think Coach Lerniger goes with to start at that 3 position this season?
Well, Justin, I think the natural assumption is it's going to be Jordan Miller starting at small forward, at least at the beginning of the year and probably throughout the season. Another name to look out for is going to be Wooga Poplar, another defensive presence on the Hurricanes team, but it's probably going to be Miller at the start of the season.
Definitely a couple good options there for Coach. But Miller really came in last year as that do-it-all, kind of Swiss Army knife type of player, if you will. So with a heavier load potentially this season, where do you see his impact being felt most on the court?
Well, Miller's definitely a defensive superstar for this Hurricanes team. However, one of the things you got to look at is the intangibles. Miller has been on this team almost longer than any other player other than Isaiah Wong. So that defensive and that veteran presence is something that's going to be big with all these new Hurricanes, whether it's through the transfer portal or just first-year players.
Absolutely. But now on to the women's squad here. Juliana, the Canes have a couple directions they could go with here at small forward to really tie that lineup together. So who do you think Coach Meyer goes with to start at small forward?
As we know, and as I have mentioned before, Coach Katie plays positionless basketball, and that is for two reasons: the versatility the team has to offer and the wide range of talent. But freshman Kyla Odeker has really shown the dynamic skills through practice, which could be a potential starter for the 3 position.
Right, and the Canes have really built that name being a positionless basketball team over the last couple of seasons. So how do you see that 3 position being utilized this year?
Coach Katie will use the 3 position to her advantage, having a solid player that's both offensively and defensively strong for the Canes.
Absolutely, but looking forward to that. But that does it for this week's edition of Hurricane Hang Time. Back to you guys at the desk.
Up next on SportsDesk, the Canes are back at Hard Rock Stadium, but Mario Cristobal isn't the only coach getting love this week. We'll tell you what's going on with all things social media when we're back, so stay with us. But first, it's time for some trivia. Miami women's soccer has taken down number 24 ranked Virginia Tech at home for its first ACC win in 5 tries. But how many years has it been since the Canes defeated a top 25 opponent? Is it A, 2, B, 3, C, 5, or D, 8? The answer when we return.
Sometimes we can do things that exclude others.
You're still talking to your friend? It's complicated.
I think he went back in. We gotta go get him.
Welcome to Jumanji! Even the smallest words and actions can have a big effect on someone. You have the skills. Because of you, someone's entire day, their year, or their life can change.
Remember, the future is in your hands.
Visit becauseofyou.org to learn more.
Totally, let's do it.
Let's go, baby.
So guys, big test for Miami tomorrow, starting ACC play. What are you all doing?
Wyatt, I'm going to be at the game. I'll be there in the booth.
I thought I was going there too. What about you?
My parents are in town, so I'm taking them to the game.
That's a good idea. Love it.
Roll over. Chance high five.
All right.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother
I am totally a hat person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome back. If you guessed B, you are correct. Women's soccer defeated Virginia Tech for its first win over a top 25 opponent since 2019. The Canes travel to Winston-Salem, North Carolina on Sunday as they look for their second conference win of the year.
When you hear the word Aerosmith, you might think of rock music, Steven Tyler, and rowing? Brandy Troop sat down with Elizabeth Aerosmith on this week's edition of Athlete of the Week.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of Athlete of the Week. I'm your host, Brandy Troop, and today I'm joined by Miss Elizabeth Aerosmith, rower. Hey Elizabeth.
Hey, how are you?
I'm super excited to talk to you. Elizabeth, you have the coolest last name.
Thank
Aerosmith.
you.
Gotta know, are you a fan of the popular band Aerosmith?
Just a little,
Well, I think it'll only be fitting if we play a quick game with your last name. Okay, so I'm gonna name Aerosmith's top songs, and I want you to let me know how that relates to you, okay?
Okay, sounds
Let's start
good.
with crazy. What makes you crazy?
Ooh, definitely the blisters on my hands from
my
rowing.
Ooh, those are intense. Okay, I don't want to miss a thing. What is something you don't want to miss?
I don't want to miss. Well, I do miss deep dish pizza from Chicago. That's something I miss, yeah.
That sounds so good. Okay, what about dream on? What is Elizabeth's wildest dream?
Wildest dream would definitely have to be going to the Olympics.
Oh my gosh, that is wild.
It's wild.
What steps are you taking to get to that goal?
Just grinding with the team, you know?
Yes. Yep. And speaking of the rowing team, how has this journey been for you so far?
It's been really great. I was a walk-on last year, so the transition to like just NARP to athlete has been a little challenging, but I think it's been worth it.
And what makes being a part of the rowing team so special?
I love my teammates. I know everybody probably says that about their teammates, but my teammates are really something special.
We can't wait for you to just continue to do your thing and what else that there is in store for you. We are watching, all of the Canes family is watching. It's been a pleasure for you to just sit down and catch up with me. Much success to you.
Thank you so much.
I'm Brandy Troop. That was Elizabeth Aerosmith. We'll see you next week on Athlete of the Week.
It's October, and Canes baseball is rolling with fall ball, while Canes football is still trying to get rolling. How does social media look after a bye week and soccer's big win over Virginia Tech? Well, Niles Nassim has plenty to say on this week's edition of Behind the Post.
Yeah, I'm in a better mood this week. I mean, in the great words of a great man that I know, gratitude is the best attitude. So thank you all for soaking in my rhymes that are oh so sublime and tuning in to the most electrifying segment on TV with me, Niles Nassim, your host with the most. So when you see me on screen, you know what time it is. We gotta go behind the post. Now tomorrow is game day, so long to the bye and hello to the Canes soaring high. The Canes welcome UNC at the place to be at Hard Rock after coming off a horrendous loss to MTSU, so there's only one way to feel. Please crush the Tar Heels. Kickoff will start at 4 p.m. and you don't want to miss it. I mean, seriously. The Canes need this win more than I need my grandma to put a life-threatening, diabetes-inducing amount of sugar in my sweet tea before I even think about drinking it. Don't judge me. Now, let's look at some beautiful faces covering all bases as baseball is warming up to have a home run of a season. This week starts intra-squad scrimmages for the team, and the Canes will be looking to build on their momentum from last season. So keep a lookout for the adjustments that will be made during the offseason, and don't worry, fans, in due time, we'll be back in the place that makes a milkshake right. We'll see you soon at Mark Light. And no matter what the sport is, it's always a big deal to play FSU. And that's what volleyball did when they rolled into Tallahassee to claim enemy territory with a record of 2-2 in ACC play. Now this win will get them over the 500 mark, but however, they will lose in a close one 3-2. But they will look to rebound against Duke on Sunday at 1 p.m. Show up and show out because it should be a fun one. And finally, it was National Coaches Day yesterday. Here at the U, our staff is top of the line, and we want to say thank you for all your hard work and dedication to our athletics program, and more importantly, pouring into our student athletes every single day. It's all love over here. And finally, you already know what to do, because that's all the time I have for you today. So be blessed, never stress, because you know where to find me right here every Friday on Sports Desk. I'm Niles Nassim.
Still ahead on Sports Desk, we will tell you how one rower finds her success on the water. Don't go anywhere.
Get it.
Get it.
Get it.
Get it. Get it. Get it.
Is she gonna get it, Daddy?
She'll get it.
Get it. Get it.
When you bring home a Goodwill find, you give your whole town a reason to celebrate because you're also funding local job training and placement programs in tech, healthcare, and more. Goodwill. Bring good home.
Getting out on the water to fish in South Florida is the way to spend a weekend. And one veteran rower is finding a way to row her boat to some great catches. Reporter Brandy Troop sat down with Leanne Lopez to learn more about her talents.
In 2019, Leanne Lopez decided to go with the current, trying out for the University of Miami's rowing team's novice program. And it was no easy task.
Each week, there's always a few less girls who didn't continue the tryout process because it was hard, and it definitely was a challenge, and I accepted that.
She was a strong force in that recruiting group, and I think that it's gotten her to be as successful as she is today.
Only being one of two girls to make it onto the varsity squad from the program, Leanne has been rowing all strokes, no paddles.
You need to show up to practice every day like it's race day. So whatever you got, you have to be ready to go.
What I see in Leanne as an athlete is someone who works incredibly hard. She's very coachable. Try to just relax a little bit more, finish the catch, and accelerate a little more firmly.
Knowing that you're doing something that most 21-year-olds aren't doing, you're not the typical college student, is pretty incredible and really motivating.
Leanne is far from typical, and her passion for water activity is overflowing. In addition to rowing, she's deeply skilled in lobstering, scuba diving, and her favorite, fishing.
I really like catching mutton snapper. It's not just like you put a bait down and they eat the hook. You have to feed them. You have to really have finesse, and there's like a technique to it. I just love being around nature, and I love being in nature. I get to combine my love for the water and my love for sport.
We think it's amazing, the fact that she can spend so much time outside of practice when we already spend 20 hours a week rowing. I think it's amazing that she can do both.
You should always try something before you say no. That's what happened with me in fishing, with rowing. Coming into college, I never thought that I would be a D1 athlete. So it's an incredible experience, and you should try different things and step out of your comfort zone.
I'm Brandy Troop for UMTV.
High school football is seen as a treasure in South Florida, filled with some state titles and some of college's best football talent. One local team is now finding wins after overcoming a difficult losing streak. Reporter Ryan Marshall has more.
Win the day. That's one of the values the coaching staff at Morning High School has instilled in its players. The Morning Sharks were on a 41-game losing streak and closing in on the state record for most consecutive losses. That's why, after a coaching change last spring, Coach Downs and his staff worked on one big thing.
So we came in with the mindset of changing the culture, not only on the football field, but in the classroom and in the community.
The new coaching staff at Morning has worked on changing the narrative for the team and having them break the habit of losing.
When you've been accustomed to losing, it's a lot easier to crawl back into that hole because it's all the same thing.
The Sharks first started by changing the way they practice. They placed their main focus on getting better each day and, of course, winning the day.
As soon as your feet hit the floor in the morning, you want to win at everything. And when you get onto that football field, it's going to translate because you've been winning all day.
Heading into the September 23rd game versus Miami Country Day, some of the players could feel a different energy surrounding the team.
Leading up to it, we was hyped. We all, in practice, we were all there. We were super happy.
We felt it. After the first snap, we just knew we was going to win.
All the hard work paid off as Morning won 27-14. With emotions high, the players and coaches immediately celebrated with an ice bath.
When the clock finally hits 0 and approaching it, you kind of start to feel that, and your skin starts to crawl, and you just feel with so much joy. A couple tears came above me as I see my players and stuff cry.
And it was something I wanted for 4 years, pretty much, when I was in 8th grade, really. And then to finally get it, it was a feeling I still not used to, not really, not yet, because I need another one.
The players did not have to wait long for another win after beating Varela High School 14-8 yesterday evening. What was once a 41-game losing streak has now become a 2-game winning streak for the Sharks. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Ryan Marshall.
For 61 years, Roger Maris stood atop the American League and the New York Yankee leaderboard for most home runs in a single season. But on Tuesday, Aaron Judge rewrote history on this week's edition of Play of the Day. Yankees taking on the Texas Rangers. Everybody waiting for 62. Judge with a drive deep left center. That ball is gone. Number 62, case closed. Aaron Judge delivers his 62nd of the year. Who's happier than Patty, his mom? As he rounds the bases, the Yankees make their way out of the dugout and celebrate with their star. It's 62 for number 99 in 22.
Each year, fraternities on campus hold philanthropy events to raise money for charity. These include bake sales, food drives, and Jim Larinaga will take you to the Foot Green here on campus for more. Jim Larinaga is lining up. Oh, he's ready to pie and face. Oh, psychs him out. Look at those. He's using those basketball skills that he teaches the players, faking him out with the pie. Let's check it again in slow motion. You could see they just don't expect it at all. He comes out of nowhere, hitting them in the face. That is pretty funny. I wish I was there to see that. They do it in the breezeway. That was really funny.
Coach L had a nice little Euro step move, one fake, go one way, the other way, looking like maybe we should play him this year.
Yeah, take him one-on-one. But that's all we have for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in.